So the Navigator Report is the first report we've released since the introduction of the agency workers regulations in October last year. It's interesting now with hindsight thinking about some of the comments we heard pre-AWR and the thoughts that people had that it would signal the end of temporary work. That now looks like, well, clearly that's not true. And I think what the report talks about, the Navigator report they're issuing next week, is really what our clients found when they had a chance to look at their entire extended enterprise, all of the people working in their organisation that weren't their permanent employees. The results of that initiative that they took are really interesting, and what they point to is a much more flexible use of resource across a variety of sectors. So, I mean, the clients that we talk to and talk about their organisations in the Navigator report come from the public sector, commerce and industry, financial services, and it's not just the clients as well. I mean, there's some really interesting commentary from interim and contract workers. So to go back to the original premise, you know, would AWR signal the end of temporary work? The answer to that is no. But if we ask the question, is temporary work the same as it's always been? The answer to that is no as well. And I think really the idea that the challenges that our clients are facing across multiple sectors, with these challenges, the idea that they just have a permanent workforce with a few temps sprinkled on top, that's a complete fallacy. It's been really interesting to see the different challenges that clients have faced and how they've dealt with them. So what are the challenges that our clients across various sectors are facing? Well, the report details 7. I'm sure when you read it, you'll understand that these apply to many scenarios, not just in the sector that the case study relates to. So we talk to people in public sector, in commerce and industry, in financial services, and I think anybody from another sector would probably recognise some of the challenges in there. I mean, for example, a dramatic loss in budget, the effect of regulatory change, the need, the desire to keep being innovative in resourcing, and certainly the massive transformation that many organisations are going through. Thinking about financial services, for example, there's a huge amount of regulatory change going on that perhaps those in the industry don't understand the effect of. That's had a huge impact on the clients in that sector, companies in that sector, and how they go about meeting those challenges. Likewise, I think everybody's aware that within the public sector, with the government cuts, I mean, there's a real challenge there to deliver really, really important services to often vulnerable people with a lot less money. How do you go about doing that? So what picture comes out of this report? Well, it's not simple, and I think that really mirrors the scenario we're in. It's complex. There's lots of competing forces. It's not as easy as one problem to solve. So the type of problems that clients are having are very different to the problems that they faced before. My main area of expertise is financial services, so I think about some of the organisations we work with, and it seems they're in a constant state of flux. The work that they're doing, a lot of the business as usual, the production work has been offshored or sent to other sort of locations in the UK. The banks that we're working with in the city, it seems their whole ethos and being here now is about being in one giant project. It's a bit of a cliche that change is the only constant, but it does seem to be the case. And the feedback that we're hearing from them, and certainly that's outlined in the report, is that they therefore need a very, very specific skill set for a very specific period of time. They don't often have jobs that someone will go into on a permanent basis and do the same thing every day for 20 years. They have a need for 3 to 6 months for a very specific skill set to be deployed, and they're often finding they can't find that within their permanent workforce. Does that mean that everybody's going to be doing temp and contract work going forward? Well, no. But does it mean that clients are going to have to be looking at a much more varied and flexible pool of resource? Well, the answer to that is yes, and I think there's that realisation that certain skills are more readily available in the contract market than in the perm market. One of the major themes that comes out in the report is about seeking the solution to problems. The organisations that we're talking to and that we as recruiters talk to every day are seeking an outcome. They want an outcome from the resource that they're deploying, whether that comes directly through an agency, whether it's a permanent staff member or a contractor. And that really reflects the challenging time that we're going through. And I think one of the key things really is, we've talked a lot about recession and double dip and these kind of things. In our eyes, this is the new normal. This constantly shifting landscape, this constantly moving target is how it is, and in our view is how it's going to be for the long term. I think anybody that expects to turn a corner and arrive back in 2007 pre-credit crunch is completely misguided. So as recruiters looking to find the best skills in the market for our client organisations and for the organisations we work with, looking to find the people that can come and solve their problems, it does present a number of challenges. We're seeing in the report that some organisations are just entering into the first generation of MSP, RPO scenarios. Others are in the second or third phase of that. So again, everybody's got different challenges and are trying to meet them in a different way. I think really, what comes across through all of it is innovation and flexibility. It's not simple. There is no one answer to any of these problems. We very much need to work with our client organisations, with our candidates, to find what's the best solution for them, because there's no easy answer to any of the challenges they're facing.